Hi everyone, welcome to your English lesson this morning. We're going to be having a look today back at Michael Merpogo's stories in Mud Puddle Farm. Now, you were introduced to the story yesterday. I hope you really enjoyed chapter 1 and you managed to create a list of characters from the story. So I'm hoping you did. Underneath the purple box here, I have got some answers as to who the characters are. And I know you've managed to find the characters because you've all sent me really long lists of the characters that you have found. So we're going to have a look at the characters in the story. So let's see which ones we have got. Here are some of the ideas that you have come up with. I've just shared them on the screen. So we have got the cockerel, the hens, the geese, the cat, the cows, the horse, Farmer Rafferty and his dog. Now, all of them have got different names and you've managed to find those names and tell me exactly what those characters do in the story, which is absolutely brilliant. So we're going to have a look. Did you manage to think of any adjectives which we could use to describe the characters? So could you describe the cockerel using adjectives? Remember, they are description words, words to describe those characters. So if you haven't yet done this, could you jot those adjectives down, write them in your English book for me, because you will need those later on in the week. So if you stop the video now and have a go at just writing down any adjectives that link to these animals that you can find in the story, and tomorrow we will share those adjectives that you have come up with. So for the next part of the lesson, we are going to be making plausible predictions about the story. Now, I have only shared chapter 1 with you, so we're going to share that story again, and you can listen really carefully, see if you can spot those different characters that we were talking about yesterday and earlier on in today's lesson. And if you can, see if you can find those adjectives that describe those characters. So sit back, enjoy the story, listen to it really carefully, because after the story has finished, you're going to have to make some predictions about the story and what you think is going to come in the next few chapters.
So these are the 6 animal adventures from Mud Puddle Farm, and today we're going to read chapter 1 of Mossop's Last Chance. Chapter 1. There was once a family of all sorts of animals that lived in the farmyard behind the tumbled down barn on Mud Puddle Farm. At first light every morning, Frederick the flame-feathered cockerel lifted his eyes to the sun and crowed until the light came on at old Farmer Rafferty's bedroom window. "Wakey, wakey, wakey," shouted the cockerel. One by one, the animals crept out and stretched and yawned and scratched themselves, but no one ever spoke a word, not until after breakfast. Mossop was a tired old farm cat who spent most of his day curled up asleep on the seat of Farmer Rafferty's tractor. Mossop paid no attention to Frederick. He got up when he pleased. Farmer Rafferty was usually a kind man with smiling eyes, but like Mossop, he was old and tired, and he ached in his bones in the wet weather. His animals were his only friends and his only family. "You look after me and I'll look after you," said Farmer Rafferty. So Frederick woke him up every morning. "Wakey, wakey." Penelope and her speckled friends laid their eggs for him. Isn't this exciting? Auntie Grace and Primrose let down their milk for him. Upside and Down kept the pond clear of weeds. Captain carried him all around the farm to check on the sheep. Jigger, the almost always sensible sheepdog, rounded up the sheep. Yap, vroom, yap, woof. And Mossop.
Hope you enjoyed the story again, and you managed to write down those adjectives, and you have managed to remember all of the different characters. So as I've explained today, we're going to make predictions about the story, and we're going to come up with what we think is going to happen in the next part of the story. Now, hidden under this big green box here, I've written some predictions that I think are going to happen in the story. So we're going to have a read of them, a sentence at a time, and then I've got an activity for you to do. So the first one is, I think that Mossop is not going to catch any mice or rats because at the end of the chapter, he is sleeping. So if you flick back to the last page in the chapter, Mossop is curled up, nice and comfy on the bonnet of Farmer Rafferty's tractor. I don't think he's going to get up anytime soon and catch those mice or rats. And I think Farmer Rafferty is going to be a little bit grumpy with Mossop because he hasn't done the job that he wants him to do. Okay, my next prediction is, I think that the pig is really tired because he wakes up yawning right at the beginning of the story. So if you flick back to the first few pages of the story, you can see that the pig is there very, very tired and he is yawning. So for the remainder of the lesson today, I want you to make some predictions and I want you to use this writing frame. So you're going to use the same words that I have here. I think that, and the word because, so you can extend your sentences with a joining word. So I've done it again here. I think that and because, and you're going to insert your own ideas into these sentences. So instead of saying Mossop is not going to catch any mice or rats, you can put your own ideas into that part of the sentence. Same here, the pig is tired. You can put your own ideas in there if you think that you've got some that are different to mine. And likewise, after the word because, we have got at the end of the chapter, he is sleeping. So we've given a reason as to why Mossop's not going to catch those mice, but you can give your own reason as to why you think that is going to happen. It's exactly the same on this sentence. So I think that the pig is tired because, and you can change the end of this sentence as well, he wakes up yawning. So your writing frame looks like this. I think that, and then you are going to enter, insert in here in your sentence, something that you have found out. And I think that because, and then you're going to give me a reason why. And the colours here match my sentences that I have created. So for the remainder of the lesson, I would like you to make a prediction about what do you think is going to happen for the rest of the story. I would like you to write 5 sentences using the writing frame to say what you think is going to happen next in the story. Don't forget, when you're doing your writing, you need to think about your presentation and punctuation. You need to add your detail and use those joining words, particularly because, but also if you can use the other ones here, and, but, and so, that would be great writing as well. And then use that writing frame to structure your writing. So make sure your work is looking like this. Remember, you can change the green and you can change the red sentence to tell me something that you predict. If you are finding it really tricky, please don't worry. Just have a go at it and see if you can come up with some predictions, or use mine and tweak and change it if you need to. Have fun. I'm looking forward to reading your predictions when you send them through later.